The vaulted ceiling of the Xaloran Academy of Knowledge shimmered with golden light as hundreds of alien scholars assembled. The hall was filled with beings of every imaginable shape, scaled, feathered, gelatinous, each representing a species that had clawed its way into the Galactic Concord. At the front, on a towering pedestal carved from living crystal, an ancient slab of obsidian rested. Its surface was covered with jagged glyphs, their edges glowing faintly with dormant power. The slab was a relic older than any known civilization. For centuries, the glyphs had defied the brightest minds of the galaxy. Teams of linguists, logic engines, and psi-like savants had pored over it, yet the meaning remained locked away. The glyphs resisted translation, as though mocking the assembled intellect of the galaxy's greatest minds. Today was different. The Academy Chancellor, a six-armed, insected scholar named Vree, announced to the assembly, "Scholars of the Concord, we welcome a representative from a newly contacted species, humanity of Sol 3. They claim proficiency in the deciphering of symbols and languages. While I doubt their capacity, it is customary to allow demonstration. Step forward, Earthborn." From the crowd, a single human rose, Dr. Evelyn Clarke, an unassuming linguist in her mid-30s. She carried no tools, no translation matrix, no psi-like amplifiers. Only a leather notebook, already frayed at the edges, and a quiet confidence in her stride. A ripple of amusement passed through the hall. A gelatinous being whispered to its neighbor, "She doesn't even bring equipment." Another alien, feathered and sharp-beaked, hissed, "This will be brief." Evelyn stood before the slab and adjusted her glasses. Her eyes scanned the glyphs with calm curiosity, as though reading a familiar text in a library back on Earth. To the scholars watching, it was baffling. These symbols had driven entire research divisions into madness. And here was a human, just looking at them. Minutes passed in silence. Evelyn's lips moved faintly, forming patterns of sound, testing roots of language, searching for rhythm. Then, with the ease of a professor explaining a passage to her students, she spoke. "This isn't a curse or protective ward, as you assumed. It's poetry, a record of a people long gone. The glyphs are logographic, but the structure is associative. See here, this spiral means both sun and origin. Combined with a downward slash, it becomes life. The opening stanza reads, 'From the first light we were born, and to the last light we shall return.'" The chamber erupted in noise. "Impossible," scholars shouted. "Fraud," others hissed. Yet when Evelyn traced her finger along the slab, the glyphs glowed in sequence, resonating with her voice. The ancient slab had never responded to anyone before. Now, under human translation, it awakened. Vria's antennae twitched violently. How can you read this? We studied for centuries." Evelyn gave a small smile. "Patterns, Chancellor. Human languages are some of the most irregular in the galaxy. We've had to deal with inconsistencies, evolutions, and lost roots across thousands of years. Ancient tongues, dead alphabets, undeciphered scripts. We've made careers out of solving puzzles that don't want to be solved. This," she gestured to the glowing slab, "isn't so different." The realization spread like fire among the assembled scholars. For them, language was static, logical, often designed. For humans, language was chaos, a living thing, shifting across time and geography. What was a frustrating impossibility to the Concord was, to humanity, just another riddle. Evelyn continued, her voice steady and reverent. "The rest describes a journey, an exodus of their people from a dying world. They sought sanctuary among the stars. These glyphs are not warnings, but memorials, a plea to remember." As she finished, the slab shone with a brilliance that filled the chamber. The glyphs transformed into flowing light, displaying vivid images of the lost civilization, towering spires, oceans of crystal, the sorrow of departure. Aliens gasped, some collapsing to their knees. They weren't just hearing translation, they were seeing history, unlocked for the first time in eons. The Chancellor could only whisper, We thought ourselves unrivaled in scholarship. Yet a single human has done what we could not. Evelyn closed her notebook gently. Sometimes, the key is not superior intellect. It's perspective. You've built tools to dominate language. We learn to live with its chaos. That's our strength. The hall was silent, the weight of her words sinking deep. Then, slowly, the silence broke, first in applause, then in thunderous ovations. Beings who had scoffed now cheered. The gelatinous scholar quivered with excitement. The feathered one bowed its head in respect. In that moment, the galaxy understood humanity was not to be underestimated. Not for their fleets, nor their weapons, nor their brute force, but for their minds, for their strange, flexible way of seeing the universe. Dr. Evelyn Clarke, Earth's quiet scholar, had not only translated glyphs. She had shattered the arrogance of the galaxy's greatest academy, and shown them the terrifying simplicity of human genius. The academy would never forget the day the human read the unreadable, the day the galaxy's jaw dropped.